Hello! We are doing the MusIC today. Let's get into our usual digs for just a second here. Hey! MusIC Null is the name of the game today. Let's pause this for a second here and let's not do that for a sec. We have done this one time before. Essentially, we were doing a couple of sort of head-to-head, like what do people use for music. We're not going to be doing that as much today. We're going to stick to one program, maybe two for like some small sample editing here and there, but basically we're going to stay with Ableton today. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun with it. Like I'm not teaching anything necessarily today. I'm just going to be here and we're just going to have a little bit of fun with it. See what this program is going to let us do. I will talk obviously about what this will let us do and what this will not let us do, where the problems are. In particular, when you do have to use things like this from a non-mouse and non-vision centric perspective. Music is, of course, very audible, but as we go through this, we'll find that it's anything but sometimes. It can be very... what is even the word? No, I wouldn't say vision centric. It can certainly be vision utilized in such a way that the audio can sometimes take second stage, which is kind of funny given this is a music we're talking about. Like, I was watching a video a couple of hours ago about a person that was explaining how to do sample playback, which we might play with today as well. And what they were doing, because they just don't have the hearing to do this through like their ears, and they never really learned intervals, I guess. What they were doing is they were using a spectrum analyzer, which is a visualizer of music, basically to find out what note was being played sometimes, or using a tuner. Obviously, that is really helpful if you don't have that kind of hearing, but it's an interesting, almost a reverse accessibility thing, where like normally you'd think visual is the start of things, so that's usually the case if you're designing things or if you're coding things or whatever. And then for music, for some people, and this, I honestly do feel like this is allowed to be called an accessibility feature, they will use a tuner plugin or like a spectrum analyzer to figure out what audio they're hearing, because their hearing might just not be up to the task of doing that for them. So in that sense, we don't have we don't quite have the problem where like people don't quite know what the accessibility features are for. We just really only call it accessibility features when arbitrarily we've decided that what's happening to a person is an outright disability. Like not being able to hear musical tones is not considered a disability. I don't think it's even considered an impairment, which I do see used in different contexts. Some people would say a severe impairment forms a disability and the other way around. But not being able to hear musical pitches is not an impairment, for as far as I'm aware. So what's cool is that you see sort of the almost hypocrisy of how we're using words, in the sense that accessibility is important for, overcoming disability, but then we are very selective about what we call a disability. We don't really consider the fact that, we cannot track magnetic fields like a dolphin can. That's not a disability. That's just something that we cannot do. Whereas not being able to see, because everybody else is able to see, in a sense that, that is a thing that people can generally do to a certain degree, that's considered a disability. So in this case, when you get to really specific things like not being able to hear certain musical tones, or not being able to tell certain colors apart when you're a designer, for example, and you can sort of use some kind of tool within your designer tool to make those maybe a bit more apparent, or like give them textual names so you can tell them apart. That, like, there is a sliding scale there. Like, some of that would be considered an accessibility feature, and other things would just be a thing you turn on. It's kind of interesting. Hey, Justin M. Welcome in, welcome in. Also, yeah, I'm not sure if those characters are coming through okay. I made a little Brill greeting in Unicode characters for people coming into the stream for the first time. I can see them, but I'm not sure if you guys can. It's very fun. Yeah, we're doing some looping. We're doing some looping and duping and looping today. We'll have to see how we do. Honestly, I was gonna do Try Hack Me this week, but I have been doing a bunch of Try Hack Me this week because of the Hack to Win thing. I already got like a silver ticket in the raffle, and I got a couple of XP boosts and things, so that's fun. So yeah, I didn't really want to do more Try Hack Me today. Like I've been try hacking meing a lot. It's interesting. Like it's still inaccessible to a large degree, so there's a lot of things that I can outright not do. Particularly, I've been racing through the Cybersecurity 101 path because I want to have a decent opinion on that path if people ask me about it, which actually happens more often than you might think. And then when they do, I need to be able to tell, okay, this is accessible, this isn't. Unfortunately, there's quite a few rooms in that list that are not accessible, which is painful for the fact that that is like the place you should start at this point. Don't get me wrong, you can do them because there's plenty of what's the word even? There's plenty of there's plenty of things happening where essentially the I lost my train of thought. Where you have to look up write-ups. You have to look up write-ups because you don't have the way to do them normally, and sometimes that's annoying because it's like a practical thing you're trying to do and you just won't let you. But it does, I guess, sort of let you at least touch onto what you would be doing, which is fantastic. So in that sense, people keep asking me like what the good start is, and we even did a stream on this last week where like we looked into what would be a good thing to essentially show off a beginning cybersecurity, like person who has never done this before, wants to just get into it. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second, Justin M. But yeah, we've essentially came to the conclusion that we couldn't really point at one particular thing. I'd say Hack the Box Academy was good. Try Hack Me was good. And Let's Defend was awful. Like, we couldn't use that at all. So in that sense, they spammed the hell out of me too the week after. Like, hey, we have seen you didn't actually do any rooms. It's really easy. Just do the first lesson. Like, fuck off. I can't use this. So yeah, I guess that is a thing. Justin brought up a great point. They said that they've seen people use live coding like Sonic Pi. I've actually played with Sonic Pi. It's a lot of fun. Basically, Sonic Pi is this tool that I believe it's Ruby powered, but there's a couple of other tools that do very similar things that are Python and a couple of other languages. And you code the music like with code. So if you want a loop that like does like a 4/4 beat the entire time, you literally write a loop in Ruby to make that sound. I've played with it a few times, like over the years. It's a lot of fun to play with when you have like nothing to do on a Saturday afternoon. It's a lot of fun. It's not very sort of pick up and go. You kind of need to know what you're doing, and there's a really good tutorial on their website that you can follow to learn it. So it's extremely geeky, and like you can do a lot of things live coded because you can actually pre-prepare your routines. And then you can just fire them off when you need them. I'm going to actually be playing with the session view in Ableton today that does a very similar thing. DJ Dave is apparently someone that does this. I'm going to have to check that out because I know of it. I'm no good at it, but I know it exists and I know it's really cool. I think at the time I did like some Pokemon music and like the old Pokemon games to see if I could make that work, and actually got relatively far with it. That was actually pretty cool. Let me put what we're actually looking at on the screen here so we have it. Right now there's nothing. It's just me and my ugly mug. And the microphone, which is probably horribly in the way visually, but it's really the only way I can have it right now. I need to figure out a better solution because yesterday, basically my microphone stand ate through my desk, and it's it sort of just had to be moved a tiny bit, which I did. Okay, let's see. Let's put Ableton on the screen. You totally should. You totally should. Here's Ableton. All right. So right now we are in a very simple project. Like if I start typing, I got a little super tiny little keyboardy thingy right here. It's kind of hard to get the camera onto, but this is kind of what it looks like. It's very small. It's like $40, and it's an M Audio key station. And basically, M Audio was the very first company. Sometimes I do this for nostalgia's sake. M Audio was the very first company that I used to get data from my, at the time, keyboard into my computer. We're talking 2007 or so. And when I was going to do this stream, I wanted to have something better than just having to type on my keyboard, like on my computer keyboard to do musical beds, because that is kind of annoying and it doesn't really flow very well at all. So I decided to essentially do to grab just a little MIDI controller, like a small one, because I have a keyboard across the room over there to my right. The problem is it is quite massive. It has me essentially drive my little wheelchair, or wheeled chair, I should say, across the room, all the way to the other side of the room to be able to play it. And it's also a bit of a nag to get going, honestly. There's a lot of things you have to do to make sure that the software that comes with it does what it wants to do. Basically, what I'm going to stick today to is essentially everything Ableton gives you by default, which is honestly quite a lot. This is something we can just do, basically. All right. So right now what we're looking at, I'm not saying I'm going to teach this program or anything of the sort. I'm going to sort of point out where the tricky bits are when you do this as a non-visual player. This is essentially just the usual. This is what they call the session view. Basically what this is if you've ever seen a groove box, which are basically these flat boxes with a bunch of rubber pads on them. This is kind of what that's like. You can put little musical ideas in this, and when you do that, you get that as sort of a loop that you can then like play with and do other things with. Right now I have a little dingy ding sound, so I could play along with the little intro music we had going on. So I can go on my keyboard to the right here and go. It's not a very good way to start off a musical composition, so let's maybe find a drum kit instead. Let's have a look. So I don't have speech going through right now. I might at some point if that's important, but we can just find a little drum kit here somewhere. Are these previews audible? Because I'm actually not entirely sure. It's a little strange how these things are handled. I think they should. Actually can test that. No, you guys cannot hear what I'm currently hearing. So I'm hearing previews of these kits that we're going through. I'm looking for a kit that sounds good. Beard kit. Let's do a beard kit. Why not? Okay, that actually made a new track. Very well. So we'll go back here. And now we have yeah, this guys you can hear. So you got like a little drum kit right there. You can start that off as a thing. The first thing you'd want to do is set your tempo. So right now the tempo, let's have a listen. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a way for half of the things that I'm currently doing you guys cannot hear. So I need to fix that. Yeah, the drums are not the metronome. Let's see. Think. This is one of those things. The reason this is happening is because the tool I'm using is actually using a very non-standard layout for their tracks. And I have the tracks routed through, but not things that Ableton does natively. So in that sense, what's happening is I can hear certain things that you can't. I have an idea. Let's just do this another way. There will be the occasional sound coming from Firebot that normally would not go to stream, but I am sort of rowing with the belts that I got here right now. And yes, that is a very terrible Dutchism. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, perfect. So we need to route stuff over here. We need to get system and we need to send it to the stream where it currently is not going. System to stream. And now, with a bit of luck, you should hear this. If you don't hear that, press 1. Let's see. There. Yeah, I'm just making sure that everything's going to where it needs to go. Looks good. All right, so the first person who now sends us a chat message will very likely have their chat message be audible on stream.
Restream bot just squawked. YouTube. Kara Goldfinch. It works.
Before that happens. All right. Let me,
Restream bot just squawked. YouTube. Justin M. Yup.
Okay, let me make sure that doesn't keep happening.
Restream bot just squawked. YouTube. Justin M. I hear it.
Want to constantly hear their chats going to stream. Like, I don't necessarily mind, but it is considered something that you want to get on top of when this does happen. I don't really care about the other ones. Like, if I get a follower short, I can go to the stream, but I don't really want all my chat message to go there. So I'm super quickly rerouting stuff in Firebot so we don't have that keep constantly happening. Also, hello, Kara. Welcome in. I don't think I've ever had you on stream before, but yeah, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be playing with Ableton today. Ableton's a fun little ditty. Okay, so we need to go to the effect for the TTS for my chat, and then we need Huh? I swear I know how this works. I've done it before. There we go. Here we are. Okay. Bear with me here for just a second. There we go. And we're done. We'll save this, and now you have no more chats, but I do. Haha. See, this is like some magic, super fast magic we're doing right here. This is the thing. Beep. Dashboard. Cool. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I get my chat and you don't. So okay, we are in Ableton right now. We're in Ableton on the desktop. And we have a drum kit. And basically the way this works is you have your slots. So your slots are like quite like that. Slots. The thing with and I think I said this last time with regards to music creation as well, is that a lot of the time this is visually a lot more apparent than than it is when you don't see what you're doing. So basically, the way we have to do this, we have to memorize a god-awful amount of keyboard shortcuts to get anything done, basically. As a result, it can sometimes really break your flow to have to look up this one particular keyboard shortcut to figure out what it is you want it to do again. It can be a bit of an interesting meh. I literally have Joplin notebooks with like hotkeys for this program, so I can look them up when I need them. Sometimes you need them all the time, sometimes you never need them at all. So it can be an interesting thing to have to deal with. Let's just start with a bit of a drum groove, maybe do a few in a row. So the concept of these slots is you have slots in a row, and then you can also fire the entire row to play. This is great for live. Basically, you can set up a number of things to go when you need them, and then just press enter on one thing. And you can essentially live loop your way through a song. You don't have to do that. You can also just like record bits and then just use them later. But yeah. Let's see. Someone, a Sakara, is saying that it like runs a bit of Excel. I can see that. Excel, particularly the session view like we're in right now, it is a bit of a spreadsheet kind of idea, isn't it? Like, yeah, you got the whole thing going on. So we want to go to the 5th credit, the beard kit. Here's the beard kit. And oh yeah, I was going to change the tempo first. So you go to tempo. One thing you have, this is like Alt-0 is what you press to get there. You can just click that with the mouse, but again, we have to use the hotkeys. So right now I can see that my play, my indicator is apparently still going. I'm not sure what we're looking at. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, since last message. Okay, so there's a little indicator that says when we last played note. That makes sense. And there's a lot of different things you can do on this thing, but we really only want a couple small things usually. One of them is the tempo, which I'm going to look for real quick. Here we are. So we'll leave these time things alone for right now. But we do want to get the tempo and timing right. So let's, I want a bit of a sort of a higher energy beat. So we do like 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That's good enough. Okay, so now we have a tempo like sort of locked in. We can take this scene, it'll give us a count in. And then we can just do our little beat. And we can also overdub that beat if we need to, but let's just do something simple to start with. There you go, there's a little flub in there that we will edit out at some point soonish, but we have our first drum beat now. This is like a little loop that we could do. So if we wanted to sort of build on this composition, generally you want to stay in the same row, because if you do another different, basically the way this goes, if you go down from here, now we're in essentially scene 2 of that particular composition. Scene is essentially a row of slots. So this would be a new row. Like if I wanted to do like a variation of this, I could do that. I'm not going to do that, but I could like do a different drum pattern here, and then this would not be playing. Let's amusingly, if I just go into my browser here and find, say, a bass line, it's gonna add a new track. I'm not entirely sure how you direct Ableton to not do that and just put it on the tracks. This is I'm very new to how this program works, so bear with me while I just figure stuff out here. This is an 808 pure. We want a bit of a thumpy bass. Better. Basic square, a little bit more interesting. Let's see. Body based, I like it. Okay, so if you are on a let's go back here. If you are on a MIDI track and then open the browser, it'll not make you a new thing. It'll just sort of see what we want to do with this. Oh. We can start with that. Very sort of 90s. So yeah, we have a... We can do something like that. Yeah, let's do something like that. So we can start this scene in here. Now this is very offbeat. Like I'm sort of dealing with a number of weird like things that are being routed as we go. That means I am going to be off in my timing. There's not much I can do about that, but there's something I can do after the fact to fix that up. So what I'm going to do is quantize this, which means essentially put the beats on the grid where I'd like them to be. That means we want... Okay, this is launch quantization. I need quantization for quantize. So let's go with this, for example. We'll get the clip view for this particular clip. A clip is a piece of audio that's in a slot, which in turn is in a scene. Are you confused yet? I am. Let's see. Here we are. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's do 1/8 quantization. Let's quantize this. It's now been quantized. All right, so now let's go back to the session and play this entire scene here. Not bad, not bad. Let's do that quantization on the 16th instead. I think we're going too fast with these. Here. Oh. My bad. Yep. Okay. This one, we'll get this. Make this. Okay, let's do 1/8 instead. See if that works okay. Quantize. Can I hear it? Getting somewhere now, getting somewhere now. All right, so we have a bass, we have a drum. What else can we do with this? We can add sort of like either a pad or a melody line. We can add a melody line, a pad, or some other things with this. Let's first quantize the drums as well, just to have them be on the same level. We'll do there. I'm not sending speech through, so if anyone who isn't able to see what I'm doing is curious about how I'm doing the certain things I do, please just let me know, because it's kind of hard to explain as you're doing it. Like, I've heard several people make resources for this program. It's not what I'm doing. I'm literally just having fun with it. And even those people keep like having their speech interrupt themselves and having to like, okay, I'll press this. Oh no, that was wrong. Let me do this other way. Oh no, I did the wrong thing again. I'll do it. I don't want to do that today. I just want to essentially have fun with this and sort of do and be in my flow, as it were. If people are curious about what it is I'm actually doing or how it works, please ask, because I'm happy to explain. Like I said, I do have to remember a bunch of different hotkeys. Sometimes it's Control 5, sometimes it's Alt 5, sometimes it's Control 1, sometimes it's Alt 1. And really the only way to get these into your head, just like hacking, just like coding, is to do it a bunch. I've been playing with this off and on for the entire day today, just so I could sort of do this in a non-stuttery fashion. And yeah, honestly, I will say about Ableton, the reason I chose Ableton over, say, Reaper or anything like that is because it's very easy to just sit down and play. Like, I plugged in this keyboard literally 5 minutes before stream, the very first time. I start Ableton, and immediately when I load something on the browser, it worked. So when I did this for the very first time back in 2007 with Cakewalk Sonar of all things, I had to do a bunch of setting up and configuring, a bunch of this, a bunch of that. So Ableton is just really easy to plug and play with. I'm sure on the Mac you have the same experience with Logic. I don't have a Mac going on right now. On Windows it can be a bit more of an eh. And Reaper, for example, is a fantastic editor. It just doesn't have that many things to play with out of the box. So I love that I just have the base that I don't have to go look for. It's right there. I can just use it. Is it going to be the same quality as Complete Control? Heck no, but I don't always want that kind of quality anyway. So we have our bass, we have our drum. We're going to quantize the drum. Alt-1 for the session view. Find the clip. The beard kit. Go to the clip view with Alt-3. Quantize that. Control-U. Back to the session view. Alt-1. See, this is the stuff that I'm constantly doing in my head. We got this now. The cool thing about this is that I was going to edit out that flub, but quantization has actually put it in a very nice place where I don't necessarily mind it being there, so it can stay as far as I'm concerned. Let's do like maybe a melody, like a little melody thing. I eventually might want to put vocals over this. I have a phrase in my head that I kind of want to put over this that I'm going to have to work on in my off non-streaming time, because I need to play with vocals and see how I want to do that exactly. But we're gonna make this little bed to see how far we can take it, and then I'll add the vocals after. And there's also a little like rise and hit loop I want to add to the beginning of this, and I don't even know if Ableton has that by default, so I'm gonna have to find one. Logic does. I know Logic does, but I don't sure if this has it. But let's just keep going. Pad. Not even a pad. Melody line. So, let's see. Okay, this is now an analog chime. I'm deleting that clip. Oh, it's not even a clip. Okay, so let's put some kind of melody thing on this. This is the one we had before. This is what we were playing with when the music was playing earlier. I want something a little bit more stabby. That's not stabby, that's wah. This is better. Angelina. Not quite what I'm looking for, but closer. Oh. Ballroom blues. No. Again, this is pretty good, but I want something a little bit more complicated than that. That's just a basic square wave. Better. Chirpy plum. No, chirpy pluck. That's a chord. I need like a single. Church bell. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with a very musical table sample that I recorded and see if I can get like into an instrument if I can. We'd have to use Ableton's simpler sampler device. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, let's see. What else? Classic ensemble pad. No. Climb the ladder. Corrosion bells. This might work. For some reason it's not loading it. Oh, it did. Wait, that's the wrong one. That's still this. Yeah, I'm this. Definitely the wrong octave. No, this this isn't quite right. This is too much. This is too echoey. This is too echoey for what I'm trying to do. Crunch Arcade. Delta Polylog. Does that work? No, but I found my sustain button. This is your 4-chord song. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. It's very raw. I want something more bah. This is when, like, when you start talking in like baby talk about music, this is when you're doing it right. Oh, dense lead. So this is your lead that you're gonna hear everywhere. This is everywhere. Like you can just take a sound like this and go. I'm trying to not do it too well because I don't want to get copyright striked. But yeah. Actually, that was like, let's try that again with the thing we were doing before. Where is it? Here. Again, I don't want to get copyright strike, but it's sort of a sound like that. It's the one that they use is a little bit more less bassy. But it sort of gave me that thing. This is a dense lead. Detune tune. Alright. We got Dusty Bell. If this was tempo synced, I'd use it, but I don't think it is. Euphoric lead. Let's see, can we try that out? I like that. That's good. Let's do that. That's good. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Alright. And one, two, three, four. See, did that work? I like that. That last note doesn't need to be there. We'll get rid of that, but I like that. That's good. Let's quantize this. Actually, yeah, let's quantize it a tiny bit. Quantize to the 16th or so. I like that. That's good. But I do want to see if I can duplicate and pan this. Uh-oh. Your computer is running on low on storage space. Visit storage settings to free us some up. Uh-oh. Yeah, that will happen quickly when you do things like this. Let's see if I can delete something big so I have a little bit more room. The computer doesn't like the music we're making, guys. It's bad. Is there a lot in here? I mean, not majorly. How much do we have? Like, how much in danger are we right now? Let's have a look. We are... Oh, we have literally no free space. Oh, we might want to fix that. Let's see. Are we recording? We're not recording video, are we? Let me just verify that we're not recording. No, we're not. Okay, good. Let me make a little bit more room before this thing just falls over and dies. That would be very sad. Please hold. It's an empty folder. I'm sure there's something in here that we can delete. There we go. See if there's a game we can get rid of, yeah, or like another thing. What's in here? Wait, what? Oh, in the wrong. Wait, where are we in? Wait a second. Do we have 2 folders of Dropbox on my computer? No, we don't. Okay, that was a little weird. I thought we did for a second. We do not. That's good. Yeah, let's super quickly delete a game or something, or something else that's big. Remove program. Let's clear out a few gigabytes here before the computer just decides to completely give up on me. So, lesson about screen readers and how they deal with rapidly changing values of things. They don't. Seeing if I could sort these by size and get rid of some of the bigger ones, that would be very good. But yeah, when something changes like this, it can be a bit of a pita to fix. Oh, this is how you do it. Okay, large to there you go, large to small. I think the main big ones are huge games that I just played once for stream and then just never got rid of. Okay, here we go. Biggest one is Kali Linux. Let's get rid of Kali Linux. Bye. And Debian as well. I was going to restart these and redo these images anyway. So there we go. Now we all of a sudden, how much room do we suddenly have? Now we deleted 2 like massive virtual machines. 95 gigabytes. I'll take it. Let's go. Okay, we can continue. So what was I going to do with this? All right. I want to duplicate that track and pan the one left and the other right, get it more stereo sounding. Let's see if we can make that happen. Oop. Yeah, we're removing the whole thing. That should not be happening. I forget how you add it. Let's see. We need this one, and then we need to get this. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So there's a lot of things you need to sort of remember to get anything done quick. There is a checkbox here that lets you preview what you're listening to for the notes. Right now that's off, so we cannot hear what we have selected. Oh, there. So this note, this B, should not be there. Do we want that last note? I think we might just clip that out, actually. Don't have that final note. Get rid of it. There. Now, it sounds like this. 3, 4. And now you can loop it without any problems. Speaking of looping, this is something I haven't quite worked out how to fix yet. I don't know why this is happening, but when I record clips like this, sometimes they get out of sync. Like one loop will be too far, one bar too far. It's probably just when I press enter versus my actual my grid setting. So when I press enter, it doesn't immediately stop, but it goes one bar further than it should be. And then I have to go back in and change the loop braces, which I might do later. But right now it's fine the way it is. Like it does what I need it to do. And I can record this as a one-timer to my arrangement later and then just not even bother with it. So it's fine. I can fix it later. What I do want to do, see if we can make this a little bit more fancy sounding. Let's see. If we go in here, we take... Oh, bulge. There we go. We take this, we duplicate this. And now I have to look something up because I don't remember how to move pan on these. Do you just do it tabbing? Okay, so I can add reverb to this. That's kind of cool. Oh, here's the pan. Beautiful. Okay, so. Very nice. So that one's on the left. And I want this one on the right. Interesting, it's not moving. Wait, what's deactivated mean? So you can assign colors to these. Is very helpful if you can't see. I can't see, so it doesn't really matter. So just out of curiosity, what if I delete this track? Okay, now it's gone. Let's bring it back. Now it's over there. Oh, I see. Weird, interesting. Okay, so... Okay. Very good. I like that. That sounds good. Give me the entire scene now. interesting. None of these are playing. The drums and the bass are gone now. They're still there. They're not playing. Okay. So what's happening now is that it's fine, except now because we have so many things going on. Gonna widen these a little bit more in a second, but the drum is now so quiet that we can barely hear it, so we're gonna have to turn the drum up. Okay, not bad, not bad. I'm gonna change these to be a little bit wider apart. And then I think we have our little loop that we want to use for what I was gonna use it for. Let's see. Let's not make it clip. Yeah. So what's happening now is that the clap is sort of being muffled out by the leads because of the shared frequency space. That's a bit hard to fix. You'd have to EQ that, which we may do off screen. It's a little bit more finicky than we have time for right now. But okay, yeah, beautiful. So we need to do a couple things with these two tracks. We need to pan them out a little bit more and turn the volume down a slight bit on these. So we do take this one, for example. The second track. It's at 32R right now. I'm going to make that a little bit further to the right. I like that. That's not bad. I'm going to turn that down a bit too. It's peaking at minus 2.4 dB. That's a little on the high side. I'd like that a bit lower. I like that, that's good, but now we have too much on the left. So now we're going to find the left track, which is this one, and we're going to turn that down a tiny bit as well and make that a little bit more lefty so we get a wider stereo spread. Bass and the drum can stay in the middle, that's fine, but we want this to be a bit wider. Again, this is peaking at 2.6, that's a bit high for my liking. Pan is going further to the left. And now we turn that down. Not bad. Beautiful, that's better. Alright, so this is a good like little startup thing that we're going to work with. Not bad at all. And because this is all MIDI, I can probably, if I want this a little bit slower, which I might, honestly, You can slow the entire project down, I'm pretty sure, because it's just notes being played on a keyboard, so you can just slow that down. I don't know how that would work in Ableton. I'm sure you can do it. I don't know what the hotkey for it would be, but yeah, that's a pretty good start. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna work on this in my free time. It's a lot of fun. Let's do that. Save this up. ALS, it's a bit of an unfortunate file extension. Let's call this cat beat. Where is it putting there? Sure, yeah, put it there. Apparently I have a folder called Ableton Proj, and in there is a Luli project. I do not know why that's called that. There we go. Last set saved. We're good. We can play with our little later. Very nice. So let's do something else. Let's do... No. I should be able to just bring that back up and it will be right where we left it. So very good. We have an empty slot now, an empty thing. Let's see if we can figure out how to do... I'll do a little bit of a sampling instrument. Let's see how hard that would be. Let me just really quickly make a sample. I don't know how we're going to do that. We might just do something in Austin, maybe just a la or something. You have obviously devices that do this, but they're not always very good at what they do. So you can always do it on a computer. What I do think when you do these kinds of things and you just sort of play around, having a physical device, like I have a keyboard in the other room that I'm sure will stream at some point that has just buttons to do a bunch of different things. I don't really have to worry about hotkeys and things because you can tell by where the button is what it does. And it can sometimes be a lot more low threshold of a way to play music. It can just be a lot easier to just sit down and start playing. With this, you do have to make sure that everything's in the right place and the screen reader is having a good day, and sometimes you need to do certain things to get them to play nice. Particularly with complete control, which is another thing which has fantastically good quality sounds. That's a problem. It'll work fine until it suddenly won't, and you're like spending half the day fixing it. La. Okay. La. That's more of a C sharp. Like, not a D. Can we get a C? La. Okay, sounds good. That's a good sample for a la. Let's get rid of that beginning, though. There we go. I know you guys can probably not even hear what I'm doing right now, but that's fine. Fuck it. Okay, so we'll save this as la.sample, whatever. Export to computer. Okay, la la la. Very nice. Quickly going to clip off the beginning of that. Trimming a sample is a little annoying in Ableton, so we'll just quickly do it in Goldwave. There it is. La 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 MP3. Almost. Oh. Good enough. Okay, save that. Beautiful. Now, let's see if we can get that to work, because I have a la. Las are really fun to play with. I also have a bell, but I need to edit my bell in order to make the bell be a cool bell. So let's do that real quick. Let's see if we can make it so we can make this into a into an instrument. We have a, let me just go in la and see if we can make something cool out of that. So arrangement view, please. Thank you. We have a trick here. We need to go into the devices view, which will actually be the first time I go in here. So this may very well be a thing that does not at all work, but let's find how well we do. No. Yes. There. Oh, okay, so this way, and then how do I add stuff? Oh, I see that the live lessons are open. Let's get rid of that. There. Okay, let's go back here. I haven't already forgotten how this works. Let's right-click this. So we have menus here to do all sorts of things as well if you don't remember the hotkey for whatever reason. Which is good because I forget all the time. Oh. It's super fun. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what we got in here. Device view. This is where we are. Okay, so how do I add stuff to this? Let's find out. Oh, you just do it from the browser, don't you? I think you just do it from the browser. Okay, so here, then here, then here. There we go. Okay, so let's see where this is. I know that we have this in one of these, so let's have a look if I can find it real quick. Well, that sounds good. Bang, bang, must have been love. Oh. A lot of fun to play with the previews here sometimes. This is not where we need to be. We need to be... potentially in here. Let's see. Overdrive, pedal, saturator, shaper. Can I not search in this? I can. Simpler. There it is. Okay. So we have a simpler now, which is apparently where you do this. So there it is. And I guess with a little bit of luck, we can now hit Alt 4. And watch this. Okay, is this accessible? I don't know. Let's find out. Looks like it might be. Right now it has no no sound loaded, so it wouldn't make any sound. So we can do 6 voices at once. Once there's something loaded in here, that's fine. We can loop. That's fine too. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's not have loop. Okay. So simpler, you can send anything you do in simpler to sampler. Sampler is like a more feature-rich sample thing. Simpler is more if you just want to flip around for a little bit, which is what we're doing here. I just need to remember how to actually get something in here. I think you can literally just copy paste it. Let's try that. So we get our la 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 sample right here. I paste it. La 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 la. There you go. La 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 la. So this is as simple as this. You can have made my own voice into a musical instrument that I can just play. And supposedly this is quite a bit more painful in Logic, but yeah, we can have a la 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 now. La 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 la. The tricky bit with these is I find, particularly for vocal things, is that you can actually start playing with these now. But some things are very awkward. La. La, 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 la. Set this back to... Oh. Uh-oh. La, la, la. La, 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 la. So yeah, and here you can like have a bunch of different things you can play with to make this la a bit more interesting. We're not gonna be doing that right now. I did make sure to stay at C. Like if this is not right, la. And this brings us back to what I said about needing to hear where your tones are. This will assume a certain start. I'm an octave below where it thinks I am. That's why I can go really deep down and have that happen. But if you can't hear this stuff, then that becomes a lot harder to just measure. And you have to use a thing. Let's see what else we can play with this here. One shot, we'll move that back to classic. So we can set like I can press 6 la's at the same time, and that's when it stops. La 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 la. You can do something really cool with this. La 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 la. Now I'm a Smurf. Lots of fun, lots of fun, lots of fun. You can play with these things. Obviously, you would normally do this with a drum sample or some kind of instrument that you recorded, but just a regular old la can work too. It's very fun. And then this is sort of bare bones. Could, for example, we add some reverb to this, for example. La 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 la. Some echo. It's how simple it can be. I literally just added a little bit of reverb and echo to a la, and this is as much fun we're having. Let me see if I can actually get a really cool table that I found over in San Francisco when I was there. It had this really nice resonant gong sound when I hit it with my blind cane, and I can see if I can make something out of that. That was a really cool sound. So let's see if we can make something cool of that. Obviously, it's going to be background because this was outside, but if I can get a good hit, isolate, and do the exact same thing that we just did. Got it. Copy that. Copy to a new file, paste it in. There we go. So now we save this as quickly as a audio file. We'll just call it dong or something. Dong.mp3, whatever. Oh boy. Can I not turn this into an mp3 file? Because it's a random other thing. Let's try this again. Oh, it's trying to make an M4A. Let's not do that. Dong. And we'll make it like a WAV file, whatever. There. That does work. Excellent. All right, so let's get the dong. I'm playing with my dong. Let's see. Got this. Copy that over. Let's remove the la. How would I remove the la? Can I just put a different thing on here? Let's find out. So this is right now, it's in the wrong key, it's in the wrong thing. So it's thinking that this is a C, it's not, it's a B. So we need to transpose this by 1/2 the tone, which you do here. Very cool. I can't seem to find what I'm looking for, but that's okay. Oh. This is a filter that we can play with. That's not really what I'm looking for. The thing is with Ableton that I like as well, like a lot of the times what they've done here is you can tab through everything with your tab key. And that's good in the sense that, why is that good? That's good because you don't have to remember where everything is. You can sort of go through and tweak things. That's bad in that that's not super efficient. Hey, Molidvan. But it is really helpful in the sense that you can just sort of play with things and not have to remember where everything is and what the hotkeys for them are. Okay, local transpose. Here we are. Much better. Okay. Okay, so that echo is starting to get a little bit annoying now, particularly because it's a mono echo. So we're going to take that down a minor bit. So now we have a table that sounds really resonant that I, just smashed with a cane. And now we can turn it into a really cool, doomy sounding Resident Evil thing. simple how this is. Everyone's dead. Everybody in the game is dead. You've wiped, the party wiped, you have to start over again. That's it. Well, that's it. End of the game. But yeah, this is one sample. You can obviously do a lot more fancy things with this. Like you can take a whole bunch of different tones and make this a lot less artifacty and aliasy, but this is literally something I recorded with my phone outside in a park. Close up, sure, but it was like a table I hit with a cane. And I took this one sample, this one bit, where I hit it once and take the resonance, and then just put that in the simpler, which is a simpler sampler. A simpler sampler. And then once you do that, you can do cool stuff like what I just did, where like you sound super ominous and whatever you're doing. It's like a very eerie ooh sound. So we went from like fancy 90s style dancey jancy beat to and that is the cool thing I think about things like this, things like Ableton or Logic or GarageBand, where yes, Reaper can let you get into the nitty gritty. You can turn all the envelope parameters, you can turn all the parameters, you can turn all the things down a bit, up a dip, and EQ. Good job, yes. Yes, I snuck that in, the Unicode Brill. We'll even figured out what the Brill emoji thing means. It just says welcome in and then, the name in regular letters. It's a little, puzzly for people to figure out. This is still a hacking channel, so some people like cryptography, some people like that kind of thing. And I figured it would be amusing. So what else can we play with today? Like we've done this whole sampler thing. We did la 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 with the sampler. We did a fancy ominous sounding metal table. This is so much fun to play with. I didn't even have to get like a sample library for this. I just had to go outside. I don't know, just something about this is very playable. I don't know. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. What would a Death Mario sound like on this? What is it? Something like that, right? Yeah, that's it. That's how it goes. There, Mario's dead. If anyone ever played Sonic, that would be recognizable to you. If you've never played Sonic, you wouldn't recognize that. But yeah. Ooh, that Sonic boss theme, that would work too with this. How'd it go? Something like that. That's cool. But yeah, this is like even me, I know barely how this program works. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of the cool things that people do, probably just without even thinking about it. But I'm having fun just making dumb music. Like, let's go back to our little thing from before. What was it called? Cat beat. No, we don't need to save this. But I go in here, I load this, and... like, this took me, what, half an hour to make? Maybe 45 minutes. I don't know how this works. I could probably do it in 5 minutes if I did know how it works, but I don't know how it works. And just by figuring stuff out and having a bit of musical theory knowledge, you can have a lot of fun with this stuff. And that's really what I sort of wanted to do with this particular stream. I'm almost done. I'm going to probably be hanging out for a bit longer and then I'll call out. But yeah, this is super simple stuff. You can learn this in maybe half an afternoon and then you can just have some fun with this. But yeah, this might be a fun way actually to end it out. Just to loop this out. Let's actually fix the loop points real quick while we're here, because they're not all the same. That means you cannot loop these properly without things going haywire. Let's listen how it goes. Some of these are not going to go right. 3, 4, wait, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're good, except the lead melodies are looping too late. So let's actually verify that. Let's go here. Give me the body bass clip details and see where that loops. Loop to bar 9. Okay, and the other one loops to 11. So if I set this to 9 as well and do the same for that duplicated loop here, let's see how it sounds now. Should neatly loop now. One, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Very cool. So now we have a loop. There is a loop in the bar still. We could take all of these down one bar and have that not happen anymore, but let's not mess with it now. This is pretty good. And yeah, this is I guess the process. You could now put this onto an arrangement and then you can start editing it in a way that, you know, these are not currently locked in. I can play these separately if I want to. Or I can play them all at once, or I can like copy paste and put them in different places. But right now these are not recorded to tape. They're more like recorded to bits of staging that I can just paste in things. Excuse me. And I can take these and like make them more interesting. I can put them together in different ways. I can not use some of them at all. I can make variations on certain ones. I can make like a different drum beat for part of this song if this was a song. And I like that way of working. It's very non-linear. I can just do whatever. It's a little linear in the sense that I have to make sure that the things that I want to go together stay in the same row, as it were. You don't have to do that, but it's better. And yeah, I can just sort of put these in whenever I want to, either play them all at once or just once at a time or two at a time, whatever I want to do. And yeah, I was working on a little thing that I've been meaning to make surrounding a particular phrase that I need to vocal in at some point with these. Put some cool effects on there. And that's how the whole thing starts, and that's how it ends. Like, you just sort of keep playing until you're satisfied, then you make it into an MP3 file and put it on DistroKid or whatever you have. And yeah, that I think is all I'm going to be saying today. It's a little warm. I want to get out of this room and go do something else. Maybe get some water or something. But that has been me. That has been me making a bunch of music. And we'll do more of these as going to go. I do want to put complete control in here because you can do some really cool things with complete control, where like effects and loops and things are concerned. This was more just if you just have Ableton, which is completely fine, you can have this. It's very cool. And yeah, that's essentially what we've been doing. So let's see if there's anyone we can really sort of raid out to. It doesn't look like there is. It's kind of quiet on the interwebs Twitch-wise. But yeah, there's a couple things. I'm also doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Like, I'm working on getting certain devices like Stream Decks and other things to work properly. And once I have that working, I'll do a video on that. There's a couple of other devices I want to review. There's a couple of Elgato things I want to look at that are not Stream Deck. There's a capture card that I want to be using for my PlayStation streams going forward. There is a light panel that I might use behind me here. There is a number of different things I want to play with as we go through the ICNO short or long form video stuff here that may not necessarily be a stream, but more of a video. There's like screen reader tutorials I want to go do, and potentially when like my job sort of downsizes me even more than I already have, that may very well be something I have a lot more time for. So that is something I'll probably be working on in the coming time. Watch this space. If you have people that think this might be interesting, either developer friends, blind people, non-blind people, things who might just think that this is fascinating, please send them to the YouTube channel. I don't necessarily care about that much about Twitch followers. The YouTube channel is really where I'd like to see a bit more growth, because I am really interested in teaching people, not so much entertaining people is on this channel. Viewpoint Unseen is there for that particular reason, so people can find the archives of streams we've done. They can learn stuff that they need to know about. They can look stuff up that they might need to do for school or for hobbies or what they want to do, and that's really where the Viewpoint Unseen channel is going to be invaluable to a lot of people. That is at least the goal I'd like to pursue. So yeah, find people if you think they might help. This might help them. Please send them my way. I'm not gonna dark side fill this. I'm not gonna be like, oh, please send me donations, please send me money. I don't care about the money. I really don't need funds for this, but it'd be really cool to get some like bigger audiences here, so I can sort of help more people, because that's really why I'm doing this on the middle place. So with that, I'm going to say you all adieu. I'll be back on Wednesday, maybe with some cool game things. Probably The Last of Us. There's a couple of other games in the pipeline that I still want to go look at. Yesterday was Skullgirls. Molly One in particular might enjoy that one. Loads of anime girls for your perusal, sir. And yeah, that's been this stream. I hope you guys had some fun. I had some fun. A little bit of musicings. It was a lot of fun to do that. And yeah, once the track that we started on here today is finished, I will disseminate it in the usual suspect places, and we can all have some fun with a silly Eurobeat sounding 90s beat. For that, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Also have a fantastic night if that's what you're doing. Go to sleep if you're meant to be sleeping. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic day. I already said that. Goodbye.